For this CyberCafe Pro video FAQ, you will need to know how to access the admin panel. In the File menu, choose Admin and then choose the Show Admin Panel option. Here, you'll be given access to the CyberCafe Pro Classic Admin Panel that appeared in previous versions of CyberCafe Pro. This CyberCafe Pro video FAQ is about setting up pricing for your computer time and for your printing. First, you're going to want to go to the admin section and look for the pricing and stock setup drop box, and then click on the pricing window. By default, all connected computers, such as this one right here, will appear in the list under account/time code. You can see the name of the computer here, which is Caffeine. You can set which pricing mode each client is in individually by moving it back and forth in between either account/time code mode or Play and Pay Group 1. For the first part of the video, we are going to set up the client under account/time code mode. We're going to want to go down towards the bottom here and click Setup so we can get into our time code accounts pricing modes. The simplest method, if all your client computers will be the same price, is to use the All section right here. The account groups are designed if you have computers which will be charged at different pricing, such as, say, a high-speed gaming computer or just simple workstation computers that run Microsoft Office. You might choose to make the high-speed gaming computer more expensive. So for this example, we'll leave the Caffeine computer under All. Let's set up our user accounts. Pricing by going down to number 2 and clicking Pricing. In this next screen, the first option you're going to be presented with is to charge by block or charge by minute. Charge by block would be if you want to charge the customer, say, every 5 minutes. The time will then calculate the cost every 5 minutes. If you want to charge by minute, it will be broken down into minute costs. So for this example, up to 5 minutes costs, let's say, $5, and we'll add it. So for this example, the customer would be charged $1 per minute. If we were to change that to charge by block, the customer would be charged $5 every 5 minutes. We'll go ahead and change it back to charge by minute, and then we'll determine that the next 1 minute will cost 50 cents. And we'll add that for the next 5 minutes. So in this current pricing grid, the first 5 minutes will cost $5 or $1 per minute, and each minute after that will charge 50 cents. So if you go down to number 2, set up the pricing rule for additional time beyond the grid. So anything beyond this grid we will charge at each 1 additional minute, we'll charge 50 cents. And you can see under number 3 that an account of 60 minutes will cost $32.50. You can go ahead and click OK to get out of this screen. We can now set up time codes if we choose to use time codes in the cafe. You'll see it is the exact same kind of grid system. So let's choose to do 1 minute costs $1 for simplicity, and we'll add that for the first 5 minutes. And then we could do it each additional minute costs 50 cents. You can obviously do this in bigger time blocks if you choose, make it easier on yourself. We'll do that for the next 5 minutes, and then for each additional 1 minute we will charge 50 cents. And as you'll see in number 3, the settings came out to the same. An account of 60 minutes will cost $32.50. Now that is for the time code mode. So we can click OK and exit this screen. CyberCafe Pro is also equipped with the ability to create unlimited access accounts and time codes. That is where this grid comes in. So you have the ability to create a time code which is good for an entire day, week, month, and year, and that can either be done in user accounts and time codes. So you can set your pricing here. So we'll change our user accounts to $30 per day, $100 per week, and we'll give them a good $500 per month and $3,000 per year. For that example, that is what the person will be paid if, under the time codes, you decide you're going to make one that has unlimited access. Now we can go ahead, click Apply, and OK, and leave this screen. We'll now take the caffeine computer and move it over to the Play and Pay Group 1. What this does is gives you the option of either using basic pricing, bulk pricing, or scheduled pricing. You can also choose to have more groups if you choose, where you can have different Play and Play groups depending on which different computers that are being used. We'll push OK to come out of here. Now we'll have to return back to the pricing screen. So the basic pricing is hourly rate of, let's change this to $10. And a minimum is the amount that we want the customer to pay at minimum, obviously. So we'll say that they cannot leave the cafe without spending less than $3. We can also choose to have a base price, which would mean if we have a base of $3, the customer will automatically be charged $3 at the beginning of the session and then go into an hourly rate price. The bulk pricing is much like the accounts and time codes that we were talking about earlier. You have the option of charging by the minute or charging by the block. So we'll go up to 60 minutes, costs, we'll say $30. So that would translate to about 50 cents a minute. So if we look at the bottom here, we have 60 minutes, costs $30. Now if we want each additional minute after that, we could make it cost, each additional 60 minutes costs $20. So for 2 hours, they would be looking at $50. So we could change this to $120, and it comes to $50. We can click OK to exit here. The next pricing mode is scheduled pricing, which is a lot more complex. Basically, click Setup, and we're presented with a grid. Anything that has no zoning on it will be charged right now at $6 per hour. We can now add zones for fluctuating pricing. The pricing starts at midnight the morning and goes through the morning until you reach noon, and so on and so forth until you hit 11:59, basically that day. So let's say that we have Monday mornings are particularly slow for us. So go between Monday morning from 8 o'clock till noon, we want to make the pricing $2. So now between Monday, between 8 o'clock and 12:30, it'll be $2 per hour. And let's say Saturday nights are particularly busy and we want them to be $10 an hour, get a premium. We go down to the night area, and at 5 o'clock, till close is $10. We'll also make that for Friday nights too. So basically, in the end, we have Monday mornings at a discount, everything else at $6 an hour, Friday nights and Saturday nights at $10, pardon me. In number 3, we have how the zones will be charged. So all zones are going to be charged every minute. So every minute the customer will see a price increase on their screen. And here we have the same minimum and base as we had before. So we'll say that the customer cannot leave the cafe without spending at least $3. And under number 4, we can test to see if our settings are correct that we wanted. So for example, Monday at 8 o'clock, running for 60 minutes will cost us $2. So we can now go ahead and click OK and exit this screen.